Welcome one, welcome all to Mike in the Night. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. Spanning across the English-speaking world. From New Zealand to Australia, from Australia to the UK to the United States, up to Canada. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I want to thank everyone for listening to us in the night. Mike in the Night. And I want to thank everyone that's listening to us, that doesn't watch us, but listens to us on your work radios. Whether you're listening to us on replay or whether you're listening to Mike in the Night live. I want to thank everybody from everywhere. People tuning in now from Melbourne. We got people from Vancouver. We got people from... not even on. And there are quite a few people already commenting. Skype is up. Guys, I'm going to have people calling in specifically. Looks like Peter O is back. We're going to have him on the show later tonight too. If he can. I'm not sure what his situation is. But tonight we're going to be covering money laundering. So dust off them law books, or dust off them... What do we really know about money laundering, right? I mean, what can we be told? I mean, the average person doesn't money launder, right? So, I mean, it's like 1 in like a million people would money launder, right? So, because they have the funds they need to filter or layer through a system, a very not so complex system, remember, but a system. Anyways, guys, people are talking about the yield curve yields. Woo! Yeah, baby, you guys got it right. So I got someone make a video for me. They even mentioned my name in it, so I'm not trying to make this up here. Let me find it here under my history. So somebody made a video for me, so I'm going to play it right now about the yield curve before we kick off any news. Before we kick off any major news, we're going to go ahead and watch this video. So I'm going to kind of throw it up there.
Version from 3 months.
All right, here we go. Explaining the yield curve. This is an inverted yield curve means, so this is very simple. This gets pretty much to the point. This gets to what people need to know. Very simple to follow. So here we go, guys. Before we kick off what's in the news and then kick off money laundering, we shall be taking care of business here with this yield curve. So here it goes, guys.
Let's look at kind of textbook curves. Let's look at inverted first. An inverted yield curve is going to have a complexion like that. Basically, this is going to be your maturities from 3 months out to 30-year, full inversion. These are yields. So, of course, as you go down into the maturity range to longer term, yields go down. They don't always have to be like that. They can have curves. They can have little kinks in them. Now, if we want to know what a normal curve is like, it's exactly the opposite. So as you go through time, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year, 10 year, the maturities, you see the yields go up. So if you had a 30-year, that was around 3%. You could have a 2-year, that was at 2%, normal slope. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. Sometimes it could be curved. Now, speaking of curves, here's the plot of the yield curve we have now. Starting with 3 months, 1 year, all the way out to 30-year. Like I said, here's time, here's yields, and here's what our current yield curve looks like. Now, where's the inversion? Well, as you move through time, a normal curve yields should be higher. Look what's going on here. That is not the case. So short maturities are a bit backwardated. And why should this be important to viewers? I'll give you a couple of easy reasons. If you have an inverted curve and you're thinking of doing a mortgage, which one do you think you want to pick? Anybody? Anybody? I'll tell you which one not to pick. Don't pick an adjustable rate mortgage. If rates are starting to move, if rates are starting to move down, you want to use an adjustable rate mortgage. If rates are going up, you don't want to use an adjustable rate mortgage. But maybe the most important thing is the alarm clock for the Federal Reserve. It's going off potentially. Why? Because the whole point to the inversion of the curve is that many out there suspect traders see it first. You know how we're constantly talking about what's going on with regard to the yield curve and long maturities? Well, they're coming down. As they come down, the Fed's late to the game. So there's your inversion. If the Fed's late to the game, they're going to come in and push this down. And long end already pushed down, so the alarm clock of the Fed, pay attention. Mike, what'd you think?
What did I think? I think that's great. Okay, so that's a little video there of the inversion of the yield curve. Thank you so much for that. And that's very simple. It gets to the point. It explains to you what's going on. And a lot of people have been commenting that, commenting about the yield curve on my channel. Anyways, guys, you know where you're watching me. You're watching me on my original channel. No more backup channel.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
Oh, yeah.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
You get old Ricky here to back us up. Oh, good old Rick. We love you, Ric Flair. Okay, the Nature Boy. So I want to thank, before we kick off tonight's show, I want to thank Form a Fist for covering trends in the housing market while I was in the intensive care unit with my wife, which she's doing very fine, by the way. Thank you for all the prayers and wishes. She got 2 blood transfusions, and she's doing great. She's doing, like, fresh blood. She's doing, like, she had a massive infection. And, yeah. Oh, yeah. Create a second channel to stream. Yeah, most of YouTube creators have to create a second channel to stream. Yeah, I know. I'm on my main channel until they find a video I did about Australia 5 years ago and have to actually get rid of it and flag me, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I want to thank Form a Fist for doing trends in the housing market for me, covering. I called them when I was in the hospital. I said, you know, I was in some downtime. I was in a waiting room for like hours, right? And I said, you know what? It's time. I call him and ask him if he could do this for me. So we have all our regulars here. Brianna, Lord Humongous, Kevin Thompson. So everybody was watching this trends in the housing market. I left a plug on my channel so people could find his channel directly through me, which was really good. And I'm really happy that Form a Fist covered trends in the housing market. And, yep. Anyways, thank you so much.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, good old Ricky. And one more message out there.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
Oh, yeah. So what do we got going on tonight, guys? We're going to be doing money laundering. Before we get that, we're going to read some headlines before we kick off any money laundering discussion. Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. We need to know what the heck is going on. It looks like we got Peter O back back. I got Supreme Cannon. Come visit me, Supreme Cannon. You see him here in the comments. I got him visiting me today at the store. Spent a couple of hours at the shop with me talking to customers and hanging out and stuff. See, I'm one of those guys where I'm not a hard guy to find. Very not hard to find. Why? It's because I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. I have no haunted past, a checkered past. I'm not scared to show my face. It's because I have nothing to hide, right? And that's why I'm such a very easy person to find. So, comments are going nuts right now. We already got 30 people viewing, and I haven't been live on this channel. I've been live for 9 minutes, and that's a really good record for me so far. Dang 000088 says, I don't believe anything the government says. Yeah, when the government starts saying, oh yeah, you got to start getting these vaccines, we want to protect you. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Nothing you say helps us. Why do you want to help us with this? Huh? You know, you can start questioning things, right? And thinking, doing your own research. So, guys, let's go over first the channel and what I did in the last couple of days here, in case you didn't you have some time later to catch up. Mike in the Night Live, 38 watching. Let's move over. Best of the worst cities for affordability in the United States is a really good one, where I go over the 10 best cities and the 10 worst cities. Rest in peace, housing auctions, a.k.a. bidding wars. Alleluia. El Padre, Fili, Espíritu Santiago. Amen. And it's over. Bidding housing auctions are over, with these 10,000 people standing outside of a house, bidding, and overinflating a house, which it shouldn't have been there. I covered the Russian collusion today on my channel. What Russian collusion? What are you talking about? I do a drive in 4K around my town. Better Call Saul. What is this? Down under housing madness. Rest in peace, Australia. Again, lots of crooked things happening in Australia. Billions laundered in Toronto. Better Call Saul. Legal help. Oh, yeah. Toronto money cash illegal housing crisis. That was a big one this week. I'm back. I could stream again. That's from last week when basically on the 20th, my channel was allowed and out of YouTube jail. Yeah. And then we got, yeah, it is water in my jug, guys. I'm almost out. I'm like 3/4 done. eBay shipping nightmare. You might want to see that one. And thank you guys. I love you guys for helping me with sending me prayers for my wife who was in the intensive care for one night and was sent home the next day. And she's doing really well. She's sleeping. Everybody's sleeping right now. What time is it? It's 9:11. Ooh, is that a code? Did I stumble on something? It said 9:11 when I said it. Huh. We got to put our tinfoil hats on. All right, let's kick off a bit of news here, if that's okay with you guys. Just a bit of headlines, just headlines.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
Okay, let's do this. Let's see what Zero Hedge has going on. Let's refresh it in case they just posted something in the last 10 minutes. No, they haven't. UK erupts. Theresa May cabinet in revolt, plotting her imminent overthrow. Guys, okay, listen. Stop blaming Brexit on the housing crisis and all the other crap that's happening there. And stop blaming... Just start blaming what's the problems in the UK. And start to, if possible... If possible, just blame Donald Trump. You know why? I got something I want to tell you guys, and I actually want to write this down so I don't forget. After today's news, I want to tell you guys something. See, I actually wrote something on a piece of paper. Caitlin Johnston rages. Mock the Russiagators. Mock them ruthlessly. Oh, yeah. After spending hundreds of millions of dollars in research and investigating, they could have caught half of the criminals, known criminals on the run in the United States with all the money and resources they used for this Russiagate or Russian collusion that never happened. They could have caught all kinds. They could even caught D.B. Cooper by now. You know, I'm just kidding. I don't even know if he was ever caught. But I'm saying, or the parachuting guy. Yeah, D.B. Cooper. Like, all these people, they could have caught, man. They could have caught, I mean, they would have got, what's his name? The guy they're trying to get in Libya there. They would have got him. Not Libya, the guy in Syria. Bashar. They would have had him with that kind of money they spent on this damn Russian collusion. Okay. Trump CIA now unbound and back to its traditional hijinks. While Donald Trump's preparing for his Hanso summit meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Haspel CIA dug into the old back off the operations while engaging in more modern cyber attack targeting North Korea. Visualizing 200 years of U.S. population density, Russia gives U.S. red line on Venezuela. We assume that Washington treats our priorities seriously, our approach and warnings. Now, here's the deal, what's happening with Nicolas Maduro. I'll tell you what's happening with him. And there's a big problem. And what's happening with this whole Venezuela thing is, we covered it on the show. That guy, Falcon, was his adversary or running against him in the last election. They were both anti-American. But the guy who won the election... what the hell's that guy's? I don't even know the guy's name because he came out of nowhere. He wasn't on the pollster. He wasn't on the ballot. I even got a letter from somebody from Venezuela that told me this guy doesn't exist. He wasn't on the pollster, wasn't on the ballot. He did not vote for Nicolas Maduro, this guy that emailed me. He voted for Falcon. Okay? Now, this guy, okay, this other guy, put in the comments name what the hell this guy's name is, this other guy that came out of nowhere. The guy that came out of nowhere in Venezuela wasn't on the ballot, wasn't on the pollster, never existed until after the election and claimed that he won the... Yeah, Guaido. Here we go. Guaido. Thank you, Manzilla. Never existed. But for some reason, he's American-backed and he's willing and able to do what his master says. Never ran in the election. Jimmy Carter said it himself in 2012 or 2010 that Venezuela has the barometrics voting system. It's better than the American system, and it's very hard to skew. And with the amount of observers watching that election in Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro won by, I think, a landslide of 4 million votes. Okay? And I'm not saying I'm pro-Maduro or anything, but it is what it is. Then what's the point of having democracy if the guy doesn't win that other countries want to win, doesn't get put in. And then what is democracy then? It doesn't mean anything, right? So this guy Guaido never existed. Let's move on. SPLC implodes. President and legal director resign amid sexual misconduct scandal. Don't shoot the dogs. Growing epidemic of cops shooting family pets. Yeah, I know. I see videos like that on YouTube and Facebook. It's just disgusting watching family pets that don't have any say in the matter and can't protect themselves from some animal police officer. You know what I'm saying? In a case like this, the police officer is definitely in the wrong and is the animal, not the dog or the pets. Goldman just put on the next big short trade. AAA CMBX spreads are too tight via portfolio. Australian home builders suffering amid sharp downturn. Home builders. Oh, supply and demand. Oh, we need more. We need more. Okay, comments are going nuts right here. With Russiagate over, where's Hillary? Hold on. This is one for the trendies out there. Trendies.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
One more time.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
Antifa.
You keep your mouth shut, fat boy. You keep your mouth shut, fat boy.
Oh, yeah, it's right. You tell him, Ricky. All right. White House declared victory over ISIS 15 times since December. Good. Hey, what do you want to hear? We lost 15 times? All right, let's go into the comments real quick. We got Cotton Candy. Beard Gary says, deleted my Facebook 6 years ago and don't miss it at all. No. Briggs, woo! Then we got Dumb Dada. Yeah, tough. Yeah, it's true. Unfortunately, Canadians are soft and don't stand up for their rights. Even his eyebrows has issues, said somebody. And then thinking of asking an employer to work remotely when my lease is up. Why not? Fail book. Stop drinking Vancouver Starbucks lattes, MK says. And Cotton Candy Beard Gary says, woo! All right, let's keep going. What else we got here? 41% of New York residents say they can no longer afford to live there. Take a number. What about what's been happening in California, Oregon, Washington State, New York? Hey, it's no surprise, right? But if that's 41% of residents in New York State can't live in their own state, that's 10 million people that are going to exodus New York in the next 10 years. I can guarantee that. But, yeah. Yeah, the real problem with modern monetary theory, we know that. All that bullcrap with fractional reserve lending. Study finds that overwhelming majority of Bitcoin trading volume is faked. That's an interesting one. Consequences from transgenderism to trans-whereverism. And coping strategies for Russiagate peddlers now mourning. We spent $200 million in tax money. We could have used that to feed somebody, but we didn't. And then now, oh God. That $200 million they spent, they could have put that towards a lottery, a Powerball, and they would have collected $1 billion in tickets, and they could have quadrupled their money and did something better with that money than investigate Donald Trump. All right, let's look into breaking news on Google. Breaking. Let's go. What is breaking? Let's see if we get some Breaking Bad. Highway 3 is down. Mortgage rates now breaking to new lower territory. We got Anthony calling in. I will get him on the phone in a second. Anthony, sit tight, buddy. I'll have you on in 11 minutes, buddy. I'm just going through a couple of the news here. At least 20 apartment units destroyed in massive fire. Where is this? In Georgia. Cobb County, Georgia. Marietta. Don't care about sports. Breaking, man shot in the head near St. Stephen's Road. Poor guy, that's an hour ago. Disneyland lockdown as reports of gunshots. That's 3 hours ago. Weekly spin, breaking down, whatever. Nobody cares about sports. Breaking large structure downtown in Courtney Hostel. Breaking Bueno Coalition. Officer shot while en route. Breaking Mueller delivers his report. Collision near Walmart. No one. Okay, so now we're getting into too much local things. But that's what we got going on in just your typical breaking news. So we got money laundering, guys, on today's show. We got Anthony. Let's give him a call back. Anthony M. from downtown Detroit, and see what he has going on. I talked to him earlier today. When I was at the shop. I told him maybe to do a little bit of money laundering, and man, look at the money laundering in the news in the last 3 hours. And selling passports too. Ooh, Chinese are selling passports. Thank God it's not me, guys, because if it was me doing it, I'd get a nice swift kick to the teeth, and I'd be thrown in a jail cell and forgotten about for life. But because it's not me, we really can't do nothing about it, can we, people? All right, here's Anthony. Anthony!
Mike, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you, my brother?
Oh, excellent here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on some South American topics. Just with the corruption in this bubble we're hyping. The markets in the U.S. finally gave us a good tank this week. How do you feel about U.S. markets?
Well, obviously, with the inversion of the yield curve and everything that's been happening with markets on certain markets, and nobody knows where things are headed right now. We don't even know what's up and what's down. Especially, I think markets are going to get a bit of relief now that in my opinion, now that the Russian collusion's over. I think markets, you'll see a little bit of an uptick for a while and give investors a little bit of breathing room. But the Canadian dollar's tanking, Australian dollar's tanking, New Zealand dollar's tanking. Everyone's tanking against the U.S. dollar right now. What's going on, buddy, on your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm just following us. Outside the U.S., I noticed that Brazilian banks have tracked back to December 26 levels. So they've given back their whole BS hyped boom that was supposed to be because of a new president. That's what happened this past week. As far as the strengthening dollar, you can see how the worst assets in the world rallied the most this winter season we had here.
Yeah. So what's happening in Brazil? There's quite a few things happening in Brazil. They're almost like indoctrinating the country in a way and bringing it back to the 1930s, 40s in Brazil like it was.
Yeah. But I disagree with that because there might have been some actually really real patriotic things going back in the 1930s and 40s. What we see now is just more rituals and witchcraft, just pure BS. I mean, always getting out
with all the
horns and stuff.
And all the lefties pumping that stuff up. Yeah, I think.
The right wing too. The right wing too. The right wing too is emboldened, and they're replacing Christianity with witchcraft. They're blowing in horns and stuff, calling it always with this Deus. They're calling it God, but their government is still a corrupt narco state.
Of course. Most of those Central and South American countries right now still are under the American yoke burden. You know, look at Venezuela. It's still under that American Anglo Empire yoke burden. You know what I'm saying? And that was a huge problem because they just can't be free.
Right. That's why this new right wing in Brazil, you get them in and they're basically beholden to Satan worship plus wanting war with Venezuela. You know, taking up Trump's stance on that. So you definitely think Trump's got an agenda in Venezuela.
Right.
And the scumbag he put in charge.
Well, it's the petrodollar. Someone just said it in the comment section.
Yeah, I put a comment in there. You can see the article I'm putting up. Just how, once again, I showed this disconnect with Argentina before. You get Forbes on board hyping a bubble in January, and now like having to backtrack in March.
Yes.
So there's two articles.
Oh, you're talking about what's happening in the financials there with Forbes backtrack. Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah, just you can show these two articles if you want. I put these up,
Oh, did you put them up in the thing?
and then
Hold on. Oh,
I put them in the
wait. I
comment
gotta
section.
make you a moderator on this channel.
Oh,
Sorry,
you
hold
didn't
on.
see?
I gotta make you a moderator so you could. I can't because I can't see your links.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I can't see your
I'll repost.
links. So that's why you're sending me links, and I'm like, okay, we're uh-huh. There they are. Brazil, the best stock market in the world right now.
That's in January.
Mm-hmm. It's the week. It's a week into 2019. Brazil is the best stock market in the world. Parabéns, Jair Bolsonaro. Until the army tanks roll in, as his opponents believed just 4 months ago, Brazil is on track to being the best performing market quarter, if not the best. What is this crap opening here? I got this some credit card crap opening here. IPA. All right, so. Let me open the other one you sent me. Hold on, where was that? That was the second one, right? All right, opening new tab. And Brazil's stock market tanks amid Petrobras scandal that keeps on giving. So yeah, there's always a side tick to everything. You know that, Anthony, right?
Oh, right. And back to the U.S. markets, renewed optimism here at home because finally the Mueller probe went away. I mean, I just don't think that story kind of resonates for economic fundamentals. It doesn't have much bearing on our jobs, autos, housing.
Oh, well, yeah.
What do you?
But you got to remember, a lot of these guys, Anthony, they're not taking in anymore the average working American. They're always starting to target the higher end middle class. And they're not targeting the. I could see where he's coming from with a lot of this stuff. But it's not, the financial lens he's using isn't one that's covering all of Americans. That's the problem.
Right. And just to the Boeing, I mean, we've seen these planes going down and then, stuff like that. That's a real problem. That's probably a real problem.
We got a problem with Boeing, and I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Do you know that, was it Somalia or what country was that? Ethiopia does not want to give the black box to America because they don't trust them.
Wow.
Yeah, they refuse to give the black box back to America because they don't trust them. They don't trust them, plain and simple. And they rather take it to France or somewhere else to see if they can get it dissected and find out what happened in the last minutes of that flight, right?
And do you remember a year ago or something, Trump went to Boeing and basically said that like they were the leaders of America, and thanks to him, and he was bringing back the country, and Boeing was leading the way. And I just knew something was up the way he kept making these satanic hand signs during his speech. And it's like I know there's an agenda here. Why are we in this bubble we're in hyping Boeing as the savior of the country? And lo and behold, I think Boeing would lead us down.
Well, look at what happened to Bombardier in Canada. We got JT there, our Prime Minister JT. He's been praising Bombardier as the greatest thing that helped Canadians and jobs. And all we've been doing has been surplusing and pumping money into taxpayers' money into it.
Right, and that's the thing. I think people are really focused on the differences between these two leaders, but the agenda is the same. Hyping up a bubble when the job creators are actually tanking and there's all kinds of problems in this, the footing is, it's the foundation is falling apart under us, and we're just
it's built on a stack of sand. Remember what Jesus said? You build a house on a good foundation, you'll have basically you'll build a good home for the rest of your life. But if you build a house on a sandy foundation, it's not going to last much longer. It's the same thing. When you lay your words down, or you lay your rules down, or you lay the law down, if it's on a sand trap, it ain't gonna stick around much longer.
Right. And just the thing about, Trudeau, I mean, his father was an abomination, his family and their whole agenda. But the problem is, when he's gone, how is Canada any better? You've got a population of people that are completely willing to be indoctrinated about real estate and stuff, the total herd mentality. And that's not going to go away with him.
Cotton Candy is saying, surprised they use such new planes. Their thoughts they would only have older ones since they are an impoverished country. That's a good one to bring up.
Oh, for the Ethiopian airplanes going down? And
yeah. I don't think Canada has planes that new, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the U.S., we got hunks of junk when we're flying around.
Oh, the Air Paris, Air France has got like 30, 40-year-old planes still flying. I was at the airport not too long ago, and I was looking at the planes. Air France still had those double-decker old planes that they haven't used in about 25 years anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, and trying to think of what else I saw in the news recently.
What can you tell us about money laundering? What do you know? Tonight's show is about money laundering. What can you pump into money laundering tonight?
Well, I'll put it in the same category with these actresses they're busting for like admission scandals and things, and just little scandals here and there. In general, we're acting like these are big, huge revelations, but actually our world kind of runs on money laundering. Like, the exception is corruption isn't like the thing we should be freaking out about, that it's finally here and we found it. It's like the rule of the game. It's the way things have been. It's the mainstream. It's when there's not corruption that we should be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what has been the driver of the Canadian economy besides Chinese money laundering?
It's gumshoeing, and ripping people off. You go to the mechanic, he puts on a $2,000 part you don't need in your vehicle, but he doesn't even put the part on. He claims he put it on and gives you an invoice for it. Things like that. Bad things. A heating and service guy comes to your house and says you need a new heater. It's going to cost you $6,000, and you believe him. You do a financing thing, and you don't even need a new heater, and the one you gave away or threw out was 10 times better.
Oh yeah, and then with these new events in New Zealand, we've got distractions from our cracked economy too.
Yeah.
That can take over the news for months. It can be daily reports on the trauma, and then we would completely accept as normal that a generation of New Zealanders, boomers and things, had a wealth wiped out.
Mm-hmm. We got Mike L in the comments saying, hello, Mike. Didn't get notifications that you were going live. You'll never get notifications that I'm going live. Not because I don't want you to get them. It's because they don't want you to get them. And if you subscribe to a channel with a guy pouring gravy down his pants, you will get notifications every time that guy goes live. I could guarantee that, hand to God. All right, continue.
And I see in the comment section, the corrupt don't seem to turn on their own. I disagree with that. I mean, you see corrupt people get shot, like they'll call it a suicide, things like that happen. And it happened in Argentina with this guy named Nisman. Sometimes they kill their own.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. They're the worst. Look at the mafia. Why do you think the police and the CIA and the FBI doesn't move into some of these mob families? It's because they end up killing themselves.
Right, and a lot of the mob families moved into our government. I mean, Giuliani called himself the anti-mob guy, but that's just another example of repeating something repeatedly, and it eventually becomes believable. But maybe he's just part of the mob.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's gone mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, nothing. I was gonna say yeah, and let's see if we're gonna move on to our main thing here of money laundering, and I'm gonna let you go, and we'll have you on next Mike in the Night, and we could do. What do you think we should do for next week, so I could actually get you properly prepared? We're doing money laundering this week. What do you think we should do next week, guys? Let us know in the topics, and I'll announce it for next week, and you can add me on Skype, and we could talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll think about that and get back to you personally.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. We do trends in the housing market on Wednesday, so we already talk about housing 24/7, but we want to do Mike in the Night. What should we talk about? You want to talk about the economy in South America? Do you want to talk about the wall? Which I'm going to bring something up, and you know what? I'm going to bring it up because you are on the phone with me. All right? Yeah,
so if anyone's got some perspective to call in with, I mean, there's a lot of interesting people on here. I'm always open up for some new perspectives. You had some more women recently, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got something. And you're on the phone with me right now, Anthony, and I got something to say.
Yeah.
Do you know the wall in America? The wall exists, my friend. And my friends, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be very pleased to know that you're hearing this first from the Mike Martin's channel, because somebody else is just going to mirror the crap out of it and claim it as themselves. But you know what? You're going to hear it first. The wall is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been a wall to America, deflecting all the garbage that's been thrown at him, all the spitballs, all the lies and all the crap he's been having to put up with more than any other president in the history of the planet. And then he said no to he rewrote NAFTA in favor of his people. He said no to the carbon tax because it's a pile of crap. And I could tell you right now that I've paid a fortune in carbon tax over the winter. He's
okay.
Hold on. I know you're going to go against me on this, but hold on. He said no to the TPP and all that other crap. He's saying no to a lot of deals. Yes, he's done things that haven't been 100%. But you know what? Or things that I don't agree with myself. But Donald Trump is the wall. He's stopping immigration because we're seeing what's happening in immigration in all the other countries, and he's putting his foot down on that. And immigration is something that he's very against. And I don't blame him. Look what's happening everywhere. You know? He's done a lot.
Okay.
He's done a lot. Go ahead, Anthony, and prove me wrong.
Trump and NAFTA. I mean, it just seems like he took a ton of credit for stuff that did not get better. And your buddy there, Anthony, in Texas, the trucker, said how NAFTA, the new change, USMCA, screwed him, and then it wasn't that good for America. I agree with him, and I think that it's not beneficial to America to be in a tit-for-tat war with Canada on tariffs, because I live in a border state. Maybe it's good for some interior state that doesn't have interconnections with Ontario, but it was pretty devastating for Michigan, I think, and it doesn't add to our competitiveness. It just, to me, looked like big government putting on big taxes disguised as patriotism. And then, him putting the wall up, I feel like it's very good at deflecting things for Trump,
Hold
like
on.
the Teflon Don.
Donald Trump is the wall, and that's what I've been trying to say.
Yeah, it's a wall around him. It's not around our country.
Right, he's the wall. He's the one that's deflecting all the crap, all the lies, all the misconception, all the fake stuff.
Right, the fake stuff. But the media, I mean, when he bombed Syria, CNN thanked him. I mean, there was no wall to put up for that, because at the end of the day, there is no opposition in this country. It's all phony. And that's why they make these phony Russian collusion things, because collusion is already an international thing. I know the Trump administration colludes with other countries. I know Obama's did. I know Clinton's did. It's been proven. That's how this works. I mean, do you get that much? I mean, whether it's Madeleine Albright sitting there talking about it, that's how things work, isn't it? How it works on the national stage, international.
Well, Trump is a different ticking, breathing.
But how has he brought peace to the world? Is he taking a different approach?
No, you know what? Just for him, by saying no to the carbon tax, that saved Americans billions of dollars. I'm paying through the nose for carbon tax. Like, there's a lot of things, okay, that I wish we could have that you guys have. You know what I'm saying? I wish we had actual cities we could move to in Canada instead of being stuck in the 3 major cities we have. You guys have more major cities in the state of Texas than we have in all of Canada.
Yeah, but I think that's true. I think Canada, it has an abusive government. I feel like it's brought the country to its knees. I feel that it's humiliating to see what the hydro rates are in Ontario, and then to see their industries close up, to see the Heinz factory in Leamington, for example, close up. But I just don't think the fact that this doesn't happen in the U.S. has anything to do with the current president. I mean, this goes back to years of mismanagement in Canada, and a left-leaning, political correctness, socialist mentality, but it goes back to the 70s and 80s even. I mean, back to the Trudeau Sr. So this disease, I think, runs so much deeper than just Trump-Trudeau. You want to pick a side. And as far as the deficits and things, Ontario has the biggest deficit, but the U.S. runs a huge deficit now thanks to Trump's negotiating with Democrats. So he caved on so many things that one would want as a conservative. And okay, carbon taxes, I'm against that, but I can't like thank the guy too long. He's just doing what he should. I'm reading the comments. You seen this?
All right, Anthony, that was a good argument. That was a good argument, buddy. I'm going to let you go. I'm 42 minutes in the show, and we'll have you on again next week, and we could do some geopolitics or whatever you feel like doing. Let us know, guys, in the comments what next week's topic should be, and we will cover it.